hope. It is the only thing stronger than fear.
Hey, Tributes! It looks like our long-awaited return to Panem is about to become a reality. That's right, there's a Hunger Games prequel in the works, and we might already know the ending. Lionsgate has confirmed their plans to turn the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes into a movie. That means more games, more District 12, and the return of one of the franchise's most complicated characters.
Welcome. Welcome.
The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes will take place 64 years before the first Hunger Games movie. Author Suzanne Collins recently read an excerpt from the first chapter of the book, which follows 18-year-old Coriolanus Snow as he prepares for the reaping. Of course, this is the same Snow that becomes a tyrannical president by the time Katniss Everdeen gets around to participating in the games, but the new prequel will paint Snow in a different light, as a down-on-his-luck, misunderstood citizen of Panem who suddenly gets chosen to mentor a District 12 tribute for the 10th annual Hunger Games. We can't imagine Snow being a good or thoughtful leader to a young girl like Haymitch was to Katniss.
You can do this.
But since this is before his days as president, we'll try to give him the benefit of the doubt. But Snow isn't a District 12 citizen or even a competitor in the games. He was born into a fairly wealthy family in the capital, but the Snows eventually fell on hard times and had to resort to the black market to keep themselves clothed and fed. At the time of the prequel, Snow was one of the top performing students at the capital's academy. Being chosen as a mentor is a great honor, but being chosen as a mentor for one of the most disappointing districts is completely different. Snow ends up developing a pretty big hatred for District 12 by the time Katniss comes around.
Following the actions of a few radicals in the Quarter Quell.
Which could be explained by how he was forced to work with the district when he was only 18. We already know a few things about the 10th Hunger Games, thanks to some references made in the original trilogy. All of this information already appears in the books, but we'll warn you, there are a few spoilers ahead if you want to go into the prequel blind. First, we know that District 2 tribute Griffin Naismith ends up winning the 10th edition of the games. We can expect to see him be even worse than some of the most memorable violent tributes, like Cato and Clove. But of course, Griffin winning means that Snow's District 12 tribute doesn't. Will losing his tribute affect Snow's mental health? Will this be what sent him down a cruel path towards the presidency? This brings us to another piece of knowledge about the 10th games. There is a very good chance they were rigged. It's no secret that the Capitol has picked favorites over the years. There should be 74 victors in total, but there's actually 88 officially listed. This means that some of the games were definitely tampered with, or the records of those games were rewritten. And that's why Collins is choosing to focus on this tournament. It could be the start of Snow's bitterness. His tribute could have been the one closest to winning the games before the game maker picked a favorite and ruined everything. And speaking of game makers, we know that Seneca Crane, the maker of the 74th games, is definitely not in this one. Instead, the 10th Hunger Games was controlled by Lucas Castor, the second ever game maker who started his career during the 6th annual Hunger Games. By the time we get to see him in the prequel, he'll have already had 4 years of preparing fatal arena challenges under his belt. Castor's plans for the 10th Hunger Games are going to be a nightmare for the tributes, but maybe we'll get to see how Seneca was inspired by the historic game maker.
That's it. That's excellent.
So why did Suzanne Collins decide to pick the villain as the focus of her new novel? With the books, she wants to explore the state of nature, who we are, and what we perceive is required for our survival. She also points out that after these dark days reflect how Panem struggled back to its feet, and how she wanted her characters to grapple with these questions and thereby define their views of humanity. We can definitely expect to be questioning our own thoughts and feelings as we try to root for a character who will one day become one of Panem's most evil and oppressive leaders.
Welcome to the new Panem.
So, which characters can we expect to see make a return in the new movie? Well, of course, there's a young President Snow, who will be following for most of the story, but there's another character that's confirmed to appear. Her name is Tigress Barden, and she's actually Snow's cousin, which Collins revealed in the very first few pages of the new novel. Tigress appeared in Mockingjay as a clothing shop owner who helps Katniss and Peeta. She's one of the most physically modified people in the entire capital, which makes her a pretty big outsider. But the prequel will likely depict her before all of those crazy modifications. Maybe. Most of the other Hunger Games characters weren't even alive for the 10th Hunger Games. Snow was 82 by the time Katniss participated in the games, but there is one former tribute who might make an appearance. Mags is a District 4 tribute who appears in Catching Fire to play in the games alongside Finnick. When she competed in the Hunger Games, she was only 16 and won.
She's actually a wonderful lady.
And while most of the movie's characters are going to be fresh faces, we will get to see many of our favorite Panem settings come to life again, like District 12, the Capitol, and the Arena. And we can't wait to see what the Parade of Tributes has in store for us this time. But the big question is the Hunger Games really the Hunger Games without Katniss? It's kind of like when you watch Fantastic Beasts and just can't help missing Harry Potter. If the wizarding world is missing a piece without Daniel Radcliffe involved, can the Hunger Games prequel draw an audience without J-Law? Let us know what you think in the comments. Francis Lawrence, who directed Catching Fire and both parts of Mockingjay, will be returning to the director's chair for the prequel.
Take it easy. Thanks, Ed.
He'll be joined by Suzanne Collins, who is executive producing and adapting the screenplay, along with co-screenwriter Michael Arndt, who also worked on the previous Hunger Games films. Nina Jacobson and Brad Simpson will also return as producers. But we know what you're really wondering about is the cast. There's a chance that Donald Sutherland and Eugenie Bondurant, who played Snow and Tigress in the original trilogy, will make cameos as their characters if the movie contains a little flash forward.
They're so fascinating. It's fascinating to see.
So far, there's no official casting news for the flick, but fans have been going crazy fan casting a young President Snow. Our one fan favorite is Adam Driver, who could bring his skills as Star Wars anti-hero Kylo Ren to the world of Panem. A blonde-haired Adam Driver? That would definitely look the part and can make us sympathize a little with the hard-to-love future president. Will Poulter is another popular pick, and he actually has experience with young adult movie adaptations from starring in the Maze Runner movies. Stranger Things star Dacre Montgomery is another great choice, and we all know that he's great at playing a villain you can root for. But let us know in the comment section down below who you would cast to play Snow in the prequel. The prequel novel might end up being a one-and-done kind of deal, but there's definitely a long future ahead for the Hunger Games franchise. Lionsgate was already on top of this book by the time Collins started writing it, and are committed to keeping future Hunger Games projects at Lionsgate, which is no surprise considering it's one of their biggest moneymakers. They've also licensed the rights to the property for future use at amusement parks and live shows, which means we might get to visit Panem in person one day, which sounds both terrifying and kind of amazing. For now, we're gonna focus on the prequel movie and hope that the odds for even more Hunger Games content are ever in our favor.
Happy Hunger Games, and may the odds be ever in your favor.
You won't have to wait long to find out what happened during the 10th annual Hunger Games. The novel will be released on May 19th, but it'll probably be a couple of years before the Hunger Games finally returns to theaters. Are you looking forward to getting to know Snow better, or would you rather focus on another character? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to The Things for more. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.